I'm doing okay. I had a rough day yesterday. I cried a lot, but like, I don't know. I don't really want to bring you guys down with it, but at the same time, I feel like very lame about it, because it was all related to like kind of like stuff I've been going through for like a year, and it was all kind of related to like Saucy and like the place where like that stuff is like associated with right now. I kind of had like a really rough year. Like I realized when I was like really upset yesterday, and it was kind of like a culmination of like everything lame that had happened for a very long time. But I'm begging you that if you, I don't know, when I talk to like other people about what I'm gonna say, that you preface it with, I don't know, I did a lot of very negative things in terms of not kind of like having better boundaries, and I've just had like a really rough time for like a while related to Saucy. And then I realized like, man, maybe it wasn't my fault, and maybe I shouldn't feel like so bad about it. Like maybe this was kind of like, I don't think it was like other people's though. I want to preface and get everything out there just because I don't think it was like a situation where everyone else sucked and like I was like a poor little like person in it. I think that's like extremely rare and like often uncommon. But like what's Saucy? It's the sauce company that I own, but it's gonna be taking a little bit to come out there because I am gonna be starting with nothing from the old stuff. So I'm gonna be reordering my stock, and the reason that I'm doing that is because the place that it was at was not really communicating with me about it, and I realized that it had been like a year of that happening with like all of the Saucy stuff, and then I realized like, why am I doing this? Like I'm starting to like not even enjoy streaming. I'm like dreading having to like wake up every day and deal with all of this. Like, it just sucks. So what happened was, with my initial stuff, I wanted to just do a hot sauce flavor for Grimmi, like, for my, you know, for my merchandise, for my collector of memorabilia, and when I was at MSM, it kind of got turned into, like, a bigger thing. Like, initially I was just going to order it and, like, kind of, like, ship it from, like, just, you know, like, a nearby place, like, hire people to do it, not really have it go and be as connected to MSM as, like, it was. MSM was giving me, like, a nice, like, huge loan to like start the company, like, and it wasn't negative, like they just did it like no questions asked, and they helped with the legal stuff, and they made sure the LLC was going really good, and like they did a lot of really good stuff. Like I appreciated it. It's just also they wanted it to be shipped from a different place, which was maybe not my favorite thing, since I was very excited about looking at it and like having it too. I think it was kind of something where like they really wanted to be like a big part of it and be part of the distribution, and they were being very kind. Like they were essentially asking for like very little. They were shipping it out themselves. Like they didn't even ask for like a salary and stuff, but I was like, I don't mind paying. I just want to like, I want to have this be going super well. So the logistics sound rough. Yeah, I wasn't really connected to it, like since it wasn't like from my location, and looking at it more since it shipped from like a different state and like was sold in like a different state, my taxes are gonna be absolutely like hell this year. It's gonna be absolutely silly this year, but like I'm gonna get it figured out and I'm gonna get it fixed. I'm determined to have it work out. I'm just kind of starting from nothing again, because like one of the big things I was upset about was like it took like, when everyone was getting their hot sauce and stuff, it took like 2 months of like, I asked like 6 times if they could send it to me, and I was like, I don't really feel comfortable just being like the person that's marketing this stuff. Like, I think you guys kind of get at this point, like I don't want you to buy stuff you don't need, and I don't want you to like feel like you have to go and get things out of like a sense of like, oh, it's a limited time thing, etc., etc. So I did not feel very good just doing the marketing. So it took me about 2 months, and I had to like say that I wanted to like quit, like, and not like be a part of the company anymore. I really want to get a figure someday, like even if it's just a small one, like that's like my ultimate thing. Like I'm very excited. And a lot of stuff got dropped when I was at MSM. I don't know, it made me really bummed out when, like, it was like a long time ago too, and like I was so excited, but like I don't know, I don't think it mattered to them at all. So that was rough. I don't know, that was probably the most upset I'd been about VTubing stuff. And I found out about that when like I was leaving MSM. I was like, oh, so about these projects, and they were like, oh, you only have one. It's just the Hoyoverse thing. So I was really down about that, because there was a lot of stuff where they were like, we're gonna be doing all this stuff, and we're gonna get everyone involved, and we're so excited, and we're so happy, and I don't know, like that just completely like crushed my spirit yesterday when I talked to them, and I realized they didn't even remember it. I don't think it mattered to them even a little. They didn't say sorry or anything. I was starting to get into the same place of just like asking over and over again, like, hey, when is this gonna get done, or like, can I get an update on it? I even offered to like have someone drive out there and like pick up the stuff from them, and they just said like, oh, we'll count the boxes for you, and then they started ignoring me again, and I was like, it's just like before this time. sucks. This really sucks. When I talked to them about it and I realized it wasn't even something they discussed or really talked about and like had no interest in, it just really hurt my feelings. I don't know, with the Saucy stuff, like they were very... the other person that helped run Saucy, like, they were very kind in the sense that I did just want control of, like, the company, and they were okay with that. I don't know, like, there were a lot of issues with it where I think they were just stretched really thin, and I was very, like, mentally, like, not super, not in, like, a, like, mental illness kind of way, but, like, you know, I've been dealing with my health stuff, so I wasn't really equipped to, like, run it either, like... I've now got people helping me that are, like, consistently working on it. There was also other little things, like, well, not little... But there were certain people I wanted to work with for, like, the stuff, but it was kind of just like, oh, we'll just work with these guys instead for right now. And that was okay-ish. I'm getting in a better place with all that and stuff, too. I think I kind of just should have pushed a lot harder for the things that I wanted and stuff. It's very hard to plan around your own career and, like, do stuff if you never know what's happening because everything will just get dropped without anyone telling you. Just like, we're gonna work with this company. Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're gonna get these guys involved and then we'll get you involved. And it's like, cool. And then that never happens. Ever. And it's just like, oh, yeah, why'd you even... Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I don't know. Why'd you believe me? Like, it's just like, it sucked. It really sucked. I'm okay with where I'm at, and I'm gonna work very hard to get back to a situation where I'm very happy and healthy. I'm already feeling a lot better. But the other stuff was that, like, I don't know, the people from MSM were more like consultants than, like, managers. Not the managers themselves. Like, there were a lot of very nice people there, and I don't know, I think everyone was very, very nice there. It's just that it was more like a consultancy, and, like, things were never followed through with, so I was very down. I guess the biggest thing with Saucy and the thing I was most upset about was, like, it was like a consultancy. This is more of, like, a business thing, and it's very easy to overlook this kind of stuff, and I'm not, like, criticizing them harshly. I should have been keeping better track of this myself as well, because it was my business. I kind of got steamrolled and it wasn't their fault at all. I didn't find out that the people that were getting their sauces, their IPs for, like, sauces and stuff, weren't on contract until I kind of had gotten really angry and, like, was like, I want to start running the company more myself. And I was like, can I get the contract for the person I want to make a sauce with? And they were like, oh yeah, we should finish getting that contract made. And I was like, oh, fuck. But I was like, oh, I'm screwed. Oh no. And one of them backed out, which is fair. That was really crappy that happened, so I had to pay for that. I just assumed this was kind of all getting taken care of. But yeah, I felt extremely bad when I realized that, like, it was probably just gonna be more of the same stuff. It was gonna be someone replying every so often and going, yeah, we'll get this out to you. Like, they did give me, like, a loan for as much as I needed to get the company off the ground. It's just, I think I might have been a little bit happier to just, you know, have made it myself with the money I set aside for it. So but I just didn't want to have to, like, keep going through that forever, because I was starting to get the same vibe of, why are you even upset about this? And I'm gonna just go back to square one, or I guess, yeah, square one, and, you know, order stock myself again, get it all working myself again, and this time I'll do it to the best of my abilities. And I apologize for anyone that got their shipments late, or did not get their shipments. I don't think that was the case, but if anyone ended up not getting theirs, and if you'd like me to make that right, please let me know. I do still have some, so I will make it right as soon as you email me at info@saucy.biz, but I'm going to take a little bit of time, so to get it back up and running. It's not going to be as soon as I thought it would, so I'll let you know when it comes about. So also, no, I don't have to make a new LLC. I am the sole owner of the LLC, and I'm very excited about that. I felt very lame all the time. Like, having to see everyone have the hot sauce and just feel like I was kind of being, like, rude whenever I asked about it, because, like, I don't know, like, I tried posting it in so many different places, like, too, like, just, like, I'd say, like, could I get some of that? Could I do that? And it took me, like, being ready to leave to, like, get things resolved. It kind of sucked, but I'm hoping that I can do it okay. I'll probably make someone else upset someday, too, because that's just the nature of things. They all worked extremely hard, and, like, they probably didn't really care about this, and that's okay, too. And that's more than fair. They had no reason to have to, like, you know, get me the hot sauce and stuff, but I just would have liked if, like, I could have gotten, I don't know, it almost felt like, are they angry at me because they don't know what happened? Do they even know about the contract stuff? Do they even know about how much money sink it was? Do they even know about any of this? Or do they just think I'm being annoying and unreasonable for, like, having, like, split from, like, the MSM stuff? Like, what do they feel about this? Do they know anything going on? And if they did, would they care? I guess it didn't really matter, like, with the figure stuff from, like, before, because I don't know, they might have just been like, they're not as big as this other person, they wouldn't make sales, which is, I think, how people have to look at it, so they never apologize, like, yeah, I don't know, I guess it comes down to that. I'm sure I annoyed them in small ways, or giant ways. I forget everything I'm doing, like, I'm really bad at, like, unless someone is telling me exactly what to do and keeping track of what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing 90% of the time. I'm a very silly person. So I think it was just a bad fit. And so I just cried like all day yesterday. Like I was so upset and I was so frustrated and angry. I'm not usually the type of person that wants to like bring anything up and like talk about this stuff, but I was just so... I think it was just like the straw that like broke the camel's back. Like it was like they never cared about this stuff and that's okay. Like they're a business and they have their own stuff to keep track of and take care of, but I don't know. It just really hurt after all the other stuff. So I don't know, like I'm not naming names or getting into it, but like there's been situations where like I wasn't gonna have like a source of income for like 6 months, like if I went in the direction I was going. And like it was just like, well, you just have to deal with it. You can take out loans. And it was like, that's not cool with me. Like there's a lot of really rough stuff where like I was like, you know, at least lucky enough to not be like in a situation like that. Like I'm very happy and healthy to like be where I'm at and like have the issues that I have instead of like much larger ones. Like, I know people have been, like, through absolute crazy stuff in this industry, and they've suffered immensely. Like, you've seen a lot of, like, really, really, really mistreated people. And I think at some point, like, people and start thinking about each other as, like, sales goals and quotas and, like, numbers. But I don't want to deal with that anymore. And it's been one of the harder things. I want everyone to get along, and we can all have what we want in life. Whether it be successful as being a VTuber or it be successful at something else in life that you really love and doing it as a hobby or anything in between. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, thank you, Steve. I mean, thank you so much for the 100 bits. All your hard work